Hello, Soul Tribe. I'm starting up these discussions again on power of intention, and just really coming back to the basics. I've been studying this for so long, and it grows legs and goes in all these different directions, and you can fall into these rabbit holes. And it's interesting because when you really look at it, it's so simple. It really is just so simple. We're all searching for the same thing. Every single person that you meet, there is not one out there anywhere that is not looking for exactly what you're looking for, which is simply peace. We are looking for some semblance of contentment, of peace, of feeling okay, and maybe a little bit of joy sprinkled in there, happiness, love, and most of us are sort of drawn towards the consumeristic view of what happiness is. And so we think that, happiness is symbolized by the things that we have, the people we surround ourselves with. But really, happiness is an essence that's within us all. And again, it's a thing, since it's an essence that we're all made of, we're all constantly in search of it. So when we can remember that simple thing, that you're not any different than me, that we are all looking for the exact same thing, that we all need to hear from time to time, hey, you're doing all right, I support you, I love you, you're amazing. We need to hear those things. And that goes for every single person across the board, no matter how successful you think they are on the external appearance. We don't know what's happening internally. Have they found that path inside themselves to peace, to joy, or are they just distracting themselves by this external world, and grabbing all the things and giving the appearance of happiness and peace? And I think that you'll find that more often than not, the people with the more stuff are most of the time doing exactly what I just said, getting things, hoping that that's going to lead them towards that feeling of peace. And at the very least, in the meantime, on the path, it's a distraction away from the disturbance they're feeling within themselves. So if we're all searching for the same thing, we're all just looking for happiness or joy or peace, why don't we find it? Somebody's got to have found the path. There's people out there that seem pretty peaceful, right? There's some people that seem content with very little, that seem satisfied with life. How do they do it? And what I found is most people are willing to distract themselves. They're willing to buy into the story of work hard, do all the time, push, struggle, create, all that. They're willing to do that. But what they aren't willing to do is to devote their time and attention to peace, to the ultimate desired goal, to stillness. If I ask people, and again, these are people that are just, if they tell me the one thing that they want is peace, happiness, love, joy, whether they're like, I have it all, I have everything, but I don't have that. And I say, okay, sit down. Sit still for just a few minutes with me. Let's just breathe. Most of the time, they won't do it. They may do it with me while I distract them, while I talk them through it, while I encourage them. But if I said, okay, so now every single day when you go home, I'm going to ask you to sit down and be with yourself for 10 minutes. They're going to tell me some stories about how difficult that is, what a struggle it is to just sit still. They'd rather stay in that distracted state. And then, and they think they're different than everybody else. They're like, no, that's just not a thing I can do. I'm a busy person. I'm somebody that has to keep moving. I'm like, no. You're a distracted person. You're somebody that's not willing to sit down and process all that you've experienced thus far, process the emotions that you've gone through, process all the things that your mind has taken in. We live in a society where we're constantly being bombarded. Our systems are being overstimulated all the time. Stuff is coming at us, and we won't stop, ground, and process. And And so what we do is we keep moving, keep going, and when we do stop, oftentimes we are dwelling. So we're all the time living in a state of separation from what is. Because the only thing that really is this moment, is the presence, this absolute moment. And it's from this moment that everything else is being created. So if we're not capable of anchoring into this moment, free of the past, free of the future, not trying to do anything, achieve anything, not wanting anything, but just sitting in the moment, experiencing what is, sitting in what we've already created, sitting in and just taking it all in. Because I assure you, no matter where you are in this moment, no matter who is surrounding you, what is happening, that was your creation. A series of choices, decisions, belief systems, filters in your mind, all of these different things led you to right where you're sitting in this very moment as you watch this video. So look around at what you've created. Take a moment to think about the people in your life. Think about the home that you live in. Think about the job that you have, the things that you do on a daily basis, and realize that you have created all of that. That every single person right now that is in your experience, even if they are bothering you, if they're irritating you, those are all people. You can't have anybody in your experience that you didn't somehow call into it. They're there as a reflection of you. They're there as your teacher, as your guide. They're showing you an aspect of you. Everything in your experience is created for you and by you. And when we can recognize that, when we can take back that power of, I did, that's right, you know what, I did get myself here. And it wasn't, and please don't tell the story, because it steals your power, that I worked hard, and that doesn't mean that you didn't work hard. But really, life isn't about working hard. Life is about walking with joy, right? Somebody asked me today, they were like, do you work every day? And I said, there really is, I don't work. That, I do the same thing every day, no matter what. Sometimes I get paid for it, sometimes I don't. I just do what I love. And that is my life. And that's the way that we should embrace our work, right? The things that we do to make money. It should be something that you would do whether or not you were getting money, because the currency of joy, of service, that currency is far more gratifying and fulfilling than any money that you'll ever get for a service. That doesn't mean, please accept the flood of money that comes to you, because when you're doing what you love, you will be abundant. I promise you. When you're doing it not attached to the result of abundance will follow. So back to, what is this all about? We are all here on the same journey, looking for this joy, looking for this peace. And you would just have to ask yourself, are you willing? Are you willing to give your time and your attention to the goal of peace? Or are you just going to continue on this hamster wheel, kind of trapped in your own prison of your mind, of limitations, this essential jail that you've created, these boundaries, these limitations, and you're on the hamster wheel with this expectation every single day of the same thing over and over again. You desire something else, but you're not willing to go there and get it. So you just jump on the hamster wheel and distract yourself all day until you go to sleep and wake up and do it again. You're living, minus passion, minus purpose, not in alignment with who you really are. And you cannot find the alignment of who you really are without being able to be still with you. You have to start by being able to just sit, breathe, connect, listen to your thoughts, acknowledge your thoughts. Just don't give them emotion. Don't give them story. Just close your eyes, because when you feed the thought, when you feed it with emotion, this is when it becomes agitating, when you're unable to sit in it, right? But if you just notice it, let it pass. You don't tie emotion to it. Don't create stories around it. Eventually, it will pass. And there'll be another one, and it will pass too. And this is how we begin to process. we release. And suddenly when you open up your eyes again, you feel free of some of that stuff that you were carrying around. And you don't need to distract yourself anymore. You can feel your feet on the ground. You can smell the flowers. You can feel the breeze again. You're there in the present moment. And from that place, you can ask yourself, what do I want? What do I really want? What would bring me the most joy right now? What could I do in this moment that would really make me feel full? Yeah, some of my thoughts. And hey, I'm doing talks. These would be more conversations, so not necessarily me just ranting, but you know, this opportunity for you to say, yeah, Debbie, but what about this, you know, and kind of go back and forth and raise these questions maybe to a group of people. I'm building a little community. I'm doing this on Sundays at 6 p.m. out in Redmond. You can find that on my website, just debbiedixon.net, and I hope to see you there. And sorry about my puppy barking, but he has apparently spotted a bunny, I'm assuming. Have a wonderful night. Talk to you soon.